a lawful end into your property and you keep quiet. And maybe you wait for 2 months and then you say after 2 months, I'm going to report to the police that my house was broken into. Quite honestly, evidence would have been interfered.
Yes.
So the trick is report at the earliest possible time.
I just want to ask that what is the role of the law in the society of Zimbabwe exactly?
You mean the Law Society of Zimbabwe?
Yeah, the Law Society of Zimbabwe, exactly, yeah.
The Law Society of Zimbabwe is the regulatory body for all legal practitioners in this country. So basically it's like the body that regulates the conduct of legal practitioners.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to practice law in Zimbabwe, you have to be registered with the Law Society of Zimbabwe. And for you to be able to practice law in Zimbabwe, you must have what is called a practicing certificate. So it is that certificate that gives you the authority to practice law within the borders of the country. Mm-hmm. If you don't have that practicing certificate, even if you are a holder of a law degree, even if you have been duly registered as a legal practitioner by the High Court of Zimbabwe, you are not lawfully permitted to practice as a lawyer until such a time that you have that practicing certificate. And the practicing certificate is issued by the Law Society of Zimbabwe. So issues to do with the discipline of lawyers, issues to do with complaints against lawyers, be it from fellow lawyers or other stakeholders like clients or some other such interested persons or organizations, they are handled by the Law Society of Zimbabwe. Yeah. So the Law Society is our regulatory body, and it's critical in the sense that it actually is a body that regulates issues, like I've said, particularly to do with ethics. To say, as legal practitioners, as officers of the court, there are do's and don'ts, and the Law Society is like, let me call it the prefect of lawyers. Yeah. It's the monitor of lawyers to ensure that we remain within our lane, professional lane, and practicing professionally and in the acceptable manner, using acceptable ethics, adhering to the acceptable ethics of the profession. So if you do anything that is out of the way, errant behavior, whether dealing with clients or with fellow legal practitioners or some other such stakeholders, the Law Society then gets involved, and they have the authority, even in serious cases, to set up a disciplinary hearing, disciplinary tribunal to look into issues of whether or not a lawyer should be deregistered, depending on the seriousness of the allegations that are being leveled against a particular lawyer at any point in time.
Okay. Yeah, I do understand quite well. I don't think I have further questions on that one.
Yes.
So we're going to be moving on to the next question. So for those who have questions regarding to what we just would have further questions on it, actually, do comment on the comment section, and we'll look into the comments, and hopefully we're going to answer you on the next video. But for now, we're going to proceed to the next question that I have for Mr. Gutu here. Yes. What steps should a prospective client take to ensure that they are dealing with a genuine lawyer and not a bogus lawyer?
Like I've already said, there is the issue of the practicing certificate. So before you engage a lawyer, especially somebody who you are not very familiar with, just ascertain whether or not they are duly licensed by the Law Society of Zimbabwe to practice law in Zimbabwe. And how do you check? You can politely request them to show you their practicing certificate. And if you are not maybe too convinced to say maybe this practicing certificate is a bogus one, you are at liberty to cross-check with the Law Society of Zimbabwe. They are there. You can find their addresses if you Google. Here in Harare, that's where their all the offices at Linda's house. So they've got, I believe, even WhatsApp lines. They've got, contacts that you can use to verify with them, to say, I've got this practicing certificate from so and so. Are they truly and honestly registered as legal practitioners in this country. Because yes, you can have a practicing certificate, but with today's technology, one can produce a fake practicing certificate. So if you doubt the authenticity of a lawyer you're about to engage, just make sure you verify, run it past the Law Society of Zimbabwe. Because we have had instances of people who masquerade as lawyers and actually defraud unsuspecting members of the public. Yeah. So if you are not too sure about the lawyer you're about to engage, just make sure that you do a due diligence by verifying with the Law Society whether indeed the lawyer you're about to engage is a genuine lawyer, 1, 2, whether they have a practice certificate to enable them to be in a position to practice law in Zimbabwe lawfully, or legally, that is.
Okay. So one can be a genuine lawyer and not have that certificate?
Yes, you can actually be a genuine lawyer, duly registered, duly qualified at the university, but if you don't have a practicing certificate, you are not supposed to practice law in this country. Okay. That is why the issue of the practicing certificate is very important. Just like I think even all other professions have, something like that. I think medical doctors have that, engineers, journalists, they obviously have professional bodies that regulate them. So in our case as lawyers, the professional body that regulates our activities is the Law Society of Zimbabwe.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. That's something. I mean, I didn't even know that once somebody, I honestly thought that once a lawyer is done with law school, they get their degree and everything, the certificates, they're actually permitted to just go out there and start. That's what I thought. But now I know that for a lawyer to represent for me in court, they need that. What do you call it?
A practicing certificate.
The practicing.
It's very important because if your lawyer doesn't have that, it means they are not authorized to practice. At the point in time that they want to represent you without a practicing certificate or lawful authority to practice, at that point in time, you can lawfully and correctly refer to them as a bogus lawyer. Chidura.
Yeah, now I get it. So, I mean, what will happen to a lawyer in court when they found out that this lawyer doesn't have a practicing certificate? What happens to the lawyer?
If the court finds out that you are purporting to be a lawyer when you are not, that's a criminal offense. Because if you go to court and you don't have a valid or you don't have a practicing certificate, or you're a bogus lawyer, then the court officials will immediately, I'm sure, make a police report. They will have you arrested.
Oh, yeah, that's something.
Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, it will be bad luck for someone to go to court. You're hoping to have a lawyer to stand for you in court, and then the two of you end up getting into criminal cases. Okay. Yeah, okay, so we're moving on to the next question now. Okay. When one is buying immovable property in Zimbabwe, right? What measures should one take to ensure they are not shortchanged or defrauded of their money?
Yeah, it's actually very important for one to do a due diligence. I've been talking about due diligence just a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
Because most people, they maybe in the excitement of wanting to buy a property, it could be a residential stand, a commercial stand, or even a property that has been developed, a house or something like that.
Yeah.
Just make sure that before you part with your money, the property that you want or you intend to buy, it's a property that is lawfully owned by whoever is intending to sell to you.
Yeah, exactly.
How do you do that? Are there title deeds? So if there are title deeds, and because of fraud these days, you can have title deeds that are fake, that look so genuine on the face of it, but they will be fake. Yeah. So just make sure that although somebody, a prospective seller, shows you title deeds, they may look original. Do a due diligence. Go and verify the authenticity of those title deeds with the registry of deeds, with the registrar of deeds office. That's when you can engage a lawyer to say, look, I want to buy this property. These are the title deeds, but just do a due diligence. Just verify whether or not these title deeds are genuine. And if so, if they are genuine, is the property, is it at law possible of being sold? Because sometimes some properties, there'll be what we call caveats. Maybe the person has gone out there, they've borrowed money from the banks or some other financial institutions, and there are mortgage bonds that have been registered against those title deeds, and you have a situation where you have paid somebody the purchase price. You want to say, okay, let me have the transfer in my favor, and then you notice that there are mortgage loans that are due and owing. That should have been paid first to enable transfer, because once those mortgages are there, you can only have them cancelled upon settlement of whatever is owing in terms of that mortgage bond. So it's important to do a due diligence. So I would think it's actually very important, critical to even say, to say before you buy a property, an immovable property, engage a lawyer.
Yeah.
Because many people might say, lawyers are expensive. I don't want to waste money. I'm already buying this property. Why should I go to the lawyer? The lawyer will charge me. But at the end of the day, you might actually be grateful for engaging a lawyer.
Yeah, that's true.
Timelessly.
Yeah.
Because in the zeal of wanting to buy a property, because it's an exciting event, especially when you're buying property for the first time. It's exciting. You are happy.
Yeah, you're happy.
And sometimes in that overexcitement, you can be defrauded.
Yeah,
there are people out there who are busy manufacturing, creating fake title deeds, or even selling properties to more than one person. Yeah. There is a residential stand there, and maybe that stand, residential stand, has been sold to Tapson, has been sold to Gutu, has been sold to Leonard, has been sold to George, to Mary, to Peter, to so many people. So just make sure that a due diligence is that if there are no title deeds, if it's a session, find out which is the local authority in question. Is it Harare City Council? Is it Rua Town Board? Is it Bindura Municipality? Is it Chirezi? Is it Bulawayo City Council? Which particular local authority is in charge of that particular piece of land or area?
Yeah.
Under which local authority does it fall? Verify with the relevant local authority to say there is this stand number, what in Rua or in Norton. Is this a genuine piece of land that is there? Then the authorities will be able to tell you, do a due diligence. That's where your lawyer will then help you.
Yeah.
Because many people rush to just sign an agreement of sale.
Yeah.
Then after you sign, then you realize you've already signed and paid. Then problems start appearing. Oh, that property is not even in the name of this person. The person sold a property that doesn't belong to him or to her. But you have already given them money. You're already in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, in most cases, what I think causes those type of events, or I could call, a lot of people will be desperate, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially for first timers.
I know.
Yeah, someone wants to buy a property, be it maybe someone like me. I don't own any property at the moment, so it's my first time to buy something.
And
maybe
you'll be so excited.
Yeah, I'm so excited and I'm desperate. Maybe the person was selling the property, maybe let's say for example it was 25,000.
Yeah.
25,000, and then this person, I'm trying to negotiate with them, and then they say, okay, give me 20,000, okay. And just because I'm desperate to get the property, most of the times I won't look into the law. Just because.
And it happens very frequently.
Yeah.
In that excitement, people part with their money.
Exactly.
People get defrauded.
Yeah. So what I would like to say to the audience at this point is that no matter what it is you want to buy, or wherever you are and you want to buy something, especially if it's immovable properties, make sure you involve a lawyer. Make sure you involve the law, and make sure that you get a due diligence, right? Exactly.
Due diligence is critical.
Yeah, that's very
Never
true.
buy property, especially immovable property, without due diligence. It might be somebody whom you know, to say, but she's my aunt.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a guru. I know him. This guy is my friend.
Yeah.
Oh, we go to church together. We go to the same church. Oh, we are employed at the same organization. He or she can do this to me. Just take no prisoners. Just play it safe and do your due diligence first.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Okay. So that answers the question, and I don't have any more questions right now. So the thing is, I'll gather up more questions for you, Mr. Gutu. I'm pretty sure a lot of people would be interested in knowing more and more about how they can deal with their situations. A lot of people have different kinds of situations in their life right now. And what I think is that we all need the law to handle our situations.
Absolutely.
No matter what it is.
The law is like food.
Yeah.
People might say lawyers are expensive, I don't need a lawyer, but I don't see in any civilized society how you can go about your business, your daily lives without a lawyer.
Yeah,
Because
that's true.
you are buying even a motor vehicle. You want it checked to say, oh, this motor vehicle is it what property that is on the wanted list? Maybe I'm buying a car that has been reported stolen.
Yeah, that's true.
You want maybe a lawyer can help you with the due diligence, verify with CVR, verify with the police to say, is this particular motor vehicle, this engine number, this registration number, is it a lawfully registered motor vehicle in the country? Because some people can, steal a vehicle, give it fake number plates, even give it a fake, engine number. So you have to just be careful. Like I said, take no prisoners when you're buying valuable property.
Yeah.
You might say, no, but it's just a motor vehicle and I'm buying it from my friend.
Yeah, that's true.
But like I said, you're simply saying, look, I'm just playing it safe. Playing it safe means do your due diligence.
Yeah, that's true.
Just to make sure that before you part with your money, your hard-earned money, make sure that what you're about to buy is something that you can buy lawfully and that it can become your property lawfully.
Yeah. I think I've learned a lot today.